Trustworthy AI Project Manager at La Poste Groupe. Well, you probably all know what La Poste Groupe is, but I'll just take a few seconds for our international guests of tonight to present you our group, which goes actually far beyond mail delivery. So it's a multi-activity company operating in France and abroad through 63 countries across 5 continents, with more than 34 billion of annual revenue, and 44% of this revenue comes from abroad. So you don't easily imagine that, but that's the truth actually. And so it goes far beyond mail delivery. Its activity goes from parcel and parcel delivery to banking services, insurance services through its subsidiaries, La Banque Postale and CNP, and also to La Poste Groupe is a big provider of digital services through its subsidiary DocaPost. And the data and AI department that I represent is in charge of the adoption and the development of AI systems within the group, and also to make sure that our systems are trustworthy, and I'll explain you a bit later. Hello?
Working? Yeah. So I'm Annabelle Blangero. I work at Ekimetrics. We support different clients in different industries. We also develop AI solutions for them. Very different kind, from mixed marketing models to now Gen AI solutions. And there I am the lead for the responsible AI practice. My work is half-time with client projects and half-time innovation and pushing through good practices for responsible AI. And in my previous life, I was a researcher, academic researcher in neuroscience, so a lot of what we do around the innovation is linked to that, and especially the explainability part that I will say a word in a minute.
Thanks. So I think we are on a difficult topic because it's been really discussed today, and you are implementing it. So what is interesting, I guess, for everyone is really to hear, probably starting with you, Francesca, how you made your ethical charts applied, the governance that you managed to implement, because you have different type of, as you said, businesses and applications. So it would be quite interesting to understand also the challenges that you have tackled.
Of course, we do have many use cases of AI-related technology, whether it is for optimizing our delivery services or facilitating digital transformation of all the sectors in which HR, finance, marketing, also fighting against bank fraud. We use a lot of AI systems, and with this adoption comes a huge responsibility for us. Make sure that our AI systems are trustworthy, both for our clients, whether they are individuals or professionals that rely on our trusted third-party role, because we have an important trusted third-party role, or for our employees who need to trust the technology in order to accept and embrace the change that it involves for our organization. So I think you've all heard about the # guidelines for a trustworthy AI of 2019, and this committee of experts said that trustworthy AI is a dish made from 3 main ingredients: the legal aspects, the ethical aspects, and the technical aspects. So at La Poste Groupe, we adopted this same approach, and we decided to build a trustworthy AI strategy to also anticipate and prepare ourselves for the upcoming regulatory framework, which is going to impact at some point, and we need to be ready for that. And this strategy involves 3 key elements. The first one is data and AI charter that we built at a strategic level, and it insists mostly on algorithm transparency and explainability, and also, and this is, I think, a key element, on it allows our employees to critically assess application of AI, mostly when the technology, of course, comes from a third party, from the outside. The second key element is governance. So we have 2 boards in place to ensure that our trustworthy AI strategy follows legal, technical, and ethical evolutions. So the first one is a Trustworthy AI Committee, co-chaired by our CDO, so Chief Data Officer, by our Chief Compliance Officer, and by our Head of ESG. So the 3 components are head of this committee. And then we have a second, an operating board, which is in charge of evaluating our internal projects, following guidelines from the Trustworthy AI Committee, and also following our internal tools that we develop in order to identify potential risks of our projects, but also to raise awareness for the member of the project team on critical aspects that the project represents. So this is also important, make people aware of the risks. And the third key element is training. So we have specialized training for our employees that can actually understand the complexity of the technology and also of the ethical issues behind it, and why not be aware a bit of the legal framework. And this is important because it gives them the possibility to identify new AI use cases that can be trustworthy. And just to conclude, because I heard what Etienne said earlier, we're gonna at least try to win this battle before trying to win war.
That's right. Annabelle, would you like to mention a few words on the use cases that you mentioned to me before? It's quite interesting, and you also have a past of a researcher in neuroscience, so I think it's also quite interesting to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely. Trustworthiness for our clients is crucial because they want the product that we develop to be adopted, to be used, and without trust, nobody will use them. And trustworthiness means a lot reliability. People need to believe, trust in the results, the prediction, decisions that the algorithm will make. And understanding that also means we need to understand that we need to have information about the information that has been taken. So the way to do it is very complex. We have a black box effect, and the more complex the algorithms, the harder it is to explain how a decision has been made and how the prediction has been made. We've been working for a long time on this. There's things that we all know about, like Cheffe value, Lime. There's some toolbox that are freely available for mid-complexity algorithms. We've also done a lot of research on counterfactuals, trying to do simulations to see what would be the best explanation for this condition or bad one. But now with LLMs, it's another ballpark. We have billions and billions and hundreds of billions of parameters, and the LLM are starting to resemble more and more small brains. And that's what I think is quite interesting in some of the research innovation that we're trying to do at the moment is, and that's, we're not the only one, there's lots of labs working on that right now, is we are starting to use techniques from neuroscience to understand the activity of the artificial neurons of LLMs. If you just look at the activity of the artificial neurons, it doesn't mean anything. There's nothing that you can get from it. And it was the same way when we first started recording the electrical activity of brain cells. Like there was no way of really understanding single cell recording. We had to make models of that activity to make sense of it, for humans to be intelligible. And so now we're doing the same thing with sparse encoders and bottleneck models that are trying to put a higher level of conceptual representation of the knowledge that has been put into the LLMs. So that's quite fascinating what is happening right now. And it's like, at the beginning of neuroscience, there was a behavioralist that says the brain is a black box, we will never understand how it works. Not that we fully understand how it works now, but we made a lot of progress and we've developed techniques to open the black box and see what's happening in there. And we're doing the same thing now with the LLMs. And it's quite fascinating what is happening at that level. But we're not at a level that we can, for client projects, use those techniques to explain, well, the LLM said that because that part of the LLM was activated. We're not there yet. So how can we give some...
Do you push them for open models, or what are open source?
Yeah, so that's not... Yes, so obviously, if you don't have an open weight model, you cannot do this. It has to be relatively small, like 40 billion max, because otherwise it gets insane. Anthropic have released some ways also to do it. They did a really interesting paper on code and the interpretability of code. That was really good. But yeah, it's not production ready. It's not something that you can really put in production with a client project. Most of the project that we do with clients at the moment is knowledge management. We help our clients to build RAG system, retrieval augmented generators. Right?
Does everyone know what is RAG, or?
It's a way to use LLM, large language models, with companies' data. So we select the data that we want the question to be based on. So we can trust the sources of data. And then there's lots of small things that we can do to give more information to the users so that they can check that the information that came out as an answer to the question is reliable. So this can be evaluating the retriever, by giving a score of certainty on the sources that have been retrieved. It can be a lot of ways for making the check of information easy for the users by just having the links there, making it as easy as possible for them to check information. There's a lot of very small things like that we can do on the interface to make it easy for people to check and then trust more what feelings of us.
And the last question to both of you: what is the main challenge that you both face? Like, well, how do you see the future on the topic, which is really critical?
So unfortunately, the AI Act entered into force. So I think this is the main challenge for us. Trying to be compliant and to put on a strategy that involves compliance in our Trustworthy AI system.
For me, it's just going too fast. Like the research, the responsible AI research doesn't have time to catch up. Like it's just going too fast. So
You don't have time to think that we're already starting.
Yeah, it's basically like a pure performance innovation that goes really fast, and we're trying to keep up, to try to explain how it works behind. It's quite confusing.
Well, we're not trying to solve every problem, but at least we're being aware of them. And thanks to both of you for sharing your thoughts. So,